Hey Nicole, I'm ready to get Nutcase back on the road.
It's about time.
Yeah, I know it's about time. It's been sitting here a while. I still need to get the gas tank finished up so the filler neck and all that'll go, but it's not charging the battery.
You need to upgrade it.
Upgrade it. What the heavens you talking about upgrading? I don't upgrade. I always go with original parts. I always dance with a girl who brought me. Upgrade. Come on now. I never upgrade anything. Look around. Everything. I never upgrade.
Well,
hey, I want to let you know one thing that is for true. And I want you to know I am the head of the household. I say we go with original parts.
I'm the neck.
She's the neck. All right, y'all. I guess it seems like I'm going to have to upgrade the charging system on Nutcase. See you in just a minute. All right, y'all, welcome to another episode here on RevStoration. And yep, today I'm gonna be working on Nutcase again. And just as Nikki T said, she's the neck and I'm the head of the household, but the neck turns the head. So she decided we needed to upgrade the charging system on old Nutcase. And hey, I'm excited about that. Watched a few YouTube videos and came to the conclusion, oh, Granddaddy Longleg, came to the conclusion that a one-wire alternator was the way to go. One of the things about a one-wire alternator is it only takes one wire to make it work. But you also, when you do that, you eliminate the voltage regulator. You eliminate so many wires up under the engine. I do like to go just back with original stuff. But hey, I think this will help this old car. It'll charge. It's a 100 amp alternator. I think it was Tough Stuff from Summit, like $94. So I've got that. But one of the kickers is, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to actually fabricate a bracket. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of Rev's Fab Shop today to be able to get this old girl going. So once again, I'm Rev, go by Rev here on YouTube, full-time pastor. I'm honored that you're watching. If you're watching and you like this type content, we would be so honored if we could earn your subscription to the channel, that we could earn a thumbs up. We love y'all. We thank you so very much for watching. And hey, I'm gonna dig into this old girl. We're gonna get the alternator off and we'll go from there. Welcome to RevStoration. All right, one of the things, this is a 200 inline six. I have watched some YouTube videos and yes, I think a one-wire alternator will work perfectly fine on this vehicle. I do think one of the issues though is the way, and we're going to get up under the car and I'll show it to you, the way the alternator bracket bolts up. It will not work. The way it is set up will not work for the generator. Even though there is a YouTube video, that shows it working, I won't share the information on that, but what happens is they actually took the alternator and turned it around backwards, spun the alternator, and they have the small end that's about maybe 3/4 of an inch that is actually bolted up to the original bracket, and then they have the long end that's supposed to actually hold it to the block of the car, or the most stable end of the alternator is actually hooked up with a long bolt on the adjustment bar. Will it work? Yeah, it'll work. But is it right? Probably not. Now this 200 inline six is gonna have so much, it's gonna have so much, all them horses is just gonna come out at one time, and I would hate to do that and break off the alternator. And so I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to try to weld up a bracket, fabricate a bracket to bolt onto the block that the right side of the alternator can go through. That is my plan. And if it don't work out that way, then you probably won't see this video. So if you're watching it, it worked, at least sorta-ish. No worries, no fear. I'm just going to be able to slide my sleek physique and slide right up under the car, get all this out, drop it down. Won't need to worry about jacking the car up, I do not believe. I'm making lean under sideways and kind of drop it all down. That's what I want to do. Safer to be on its tires. Chock the wheels, be ready to go. We are, I don't want anyone to say that we're not a green friendly channel. Go green. This is a wheel chock right here. This is a natural organic version wheel chock. Done. Y'all ever spend forever looking for a tool that you don't need, but because it's misplaced, you can't get your mind off of it until you find it? At 9/16 wrench, I found it. It was right where I left it, just like the last time. All right, y'all, I know a charging system is not going to give it any extra horsepower, but it's going to have more usable horsepower, because good Lord, that thing is heavy. Woo-wee. All right, y'all, here is just the benches where I rebuild carburetors. Got some different things that I use for that. It's lighted, it's really well lit. So I'm gonna come in here and sort of draw things up, what I need to have to fabricate my bracket, my new bracket that will hold this, which is the generator. The generator, I need it to hold the alternator. So I'm gonna get up close and show you why I'm going to need a different setup, and we'll go from there. All right, y'all, here's the reason that we're gonna need a different setup. So if you see, let's see if I can roll this over. If you see, this is how the generator, this is how the generator bolts up to the car. You have this bracket that bolts to the side of the block, and it bolts, and then this is the tensioner arm pulley that it goes in right through here, and it leans it over this way, and it lines it up perfectly for the belt. But the kicker is this has a bolt in the front, a bolt in the back. But the correct way for this to hook up is you have you're going to need a bracket that will go on both sides of this, and this bracket will go on both sides and it'll hold it, and then your tensioner here will hold here. Most of these just have a bolt that goes straight through, has a piece that holds on the front side, and a bolt that goes straight through that bolts directly into the block. This one is not going to have that, so I'm going to have to use this and actually fabricate a bracket that will, I'll draw it on here and show you what I want it to look like. But then we're going to get our measurements and we're going to go from there. So this is the way we're going to have it. Of course, you know, it'll have a piece there, going all the way across. Let's see if I can get it up this way. And then we'll have a bolt hole somewhere here, bolt hole somewhere here, and then we'll have bolt holes through here and through here that this will actually hold the alternator on. All right, y'all, here's my stock, of course, that I'm using. Of course, every part that crosses, I got to punch a hole here, hole here, hole here, and hole here. So this is just a punch. Of course, you push it down and it's going to pop your center point. Then I'll do a small drill bit, drill through it, and then work it up to the size that we're going to need for the holes, which is right here. And so we'll get all that done. And now what I have to do, you barely can see it. I need to get a white marker, but I'm going to score me a line with the cutting wheel. Just score me a line there, because this is going to be bent over. and then welded back in place. I just want to score it so it'll be in the right spot. And then this piece here has to be cut off, and it's going to be welded in over here. So so that's the plan. So this ain't Puddin's Fab Shop, but this is Rev's Fab Shop, and this Reverend is going to try to see if I can make this work. I hope I can. Causing the table to jump. Y'all jumping with it, huh? Hand probably shouldn't be in the way there. Camera, hope y'all good down there. Y'all ever eyeball stuff? Probably ain't the best course of action, but of course as I look at my bracket, of course I've not got it welded yet. Pop a few pop welds here, spot welds on this side, then I'm going to remove this and finish welding that if it remains square now. All right, day two. I've noticed a few things. One is fairly good lined up. Of course, I'm off. If you look down here, I'm off maybe 1/8 of an inch, but I've got adjustment. On the, don't have my washer in. And I also am gonna put a washer behind the pulley just to kick it out just a little bit more. I told you there was a bolt hole, which is probably cannot tell too much through the camera. There's a bolt hole here. I'm gonna have to cut, actually cut the part that I've already bent, cut it out, make way, and put a gusset in, a little small gusset if I can, in the front. So that should be fairly simple. I'm gonna have to mark all that up and then get to working. All right, y'all, on test fit number 1. Test fitting up, okay, yeah, we're supposed to tell the truth on RevStoration. Test fit number 743. Well, really the truth is somewhere between there, closer to 1, but still I had to do a few modifications. Still probably have a few modifications I've got to do to the tensioner bar. I did a few modifications to my finger. All right, I want all of you that may be watching this video and saying, hey, I want to do that. I want to put a one-wire alternator on my 1960 to 63, 64, 65 on up, inline 6, 144, 170, 200, probably even other inline 6s that may have a generator on it. I want to put a one-wire alternator. Oh man, this piece of cake, no. It is a piece of cake if you've got all of your brackets, if you've got everything that you need. But when you're having to, fabrication takes forever. That's why it starts with an F. Fabrication and forever go together. So now I'm having to fabricate, or actually went and bought a universal, this is just the tensioner arm for the alternator. So I'm getting it squared up and ready to go with some extra washers. All that should be done in just a second. Then I'm going to take it all back off because you got to put paint on it, right? Without paint, it'll rust. We don't like rust around here. So we're going to take it off, paint it, sand it, do everything we got to do, get it all back on, hook the wires up to it. Hopefully she'll work. Hopefully. Perfect size belt on. You see the belt, everything's good. But doggone that universal bracket that I bought there, the slit is not big enough. It's not big enough for the bolt to go through. Now why in the world? Maybe Chevrolets have smaller bolts. That makes sense. Smaller bolts on a Chevrolet, bigger bolts on a Ford.
But I've got to go and pull that off, cut, grind, do whatever I've got to do to make that slit wider so that it'll work. So chrome don't get you home, folks. All right, y'all, I have everything dry fit. Of course, I'm gonna turn the motor over, probably crank it up and see if it runs and how it runs. Of course, I've not got any of the wires hooked up, just gonna make sure nothing's burning, make sure the belt's riding good, and we shall see. So we'll crank. Oh, now I gotta go in and get the keys. The easiest thing I had to do today was find the keys. So let's turn her on and see, make sure the belt's running right, make sure everything's good, and then we got to take it apart, then we got to paint it, then we got, all right, I'll show you in a minute. Come on, baby. What in the world? She been sitting. There she goes. All right, Nutcase. All right. If you ask me, it's running like it should. Of course, I don't have anything wired up, but it's wired. I mean, it's in there. So now I've got to get everything, make everything permanent. Got to take it all the way back apart. When I take it all the way back apart, I'm going to weld certain things where they need to be, so I don't have to worry about running my hands and getting it all done, getting it all painted, and then hopefully we can get that old generator light off. That's the plan. So y'all think old Rev can make it happen? Keep watching. All right, y'all, here's the finished product. Some of you would say, well, Rev, why in the world would you do that? Why wouldn't you just go buy something? Well, they don't really have one that's made with an air conditioner, the bracket deal. You always have to fabricate something, so I fabricated this. Of course, it's the ugliest welds a brother's ever seen, but guess what? They're my welds. And of course, we ain't gonna have no more chrome on this rig. So we're gonna let this paint dry just for a second. We're gonna roll it over and get the backside. We're gonna bolt her all the way up. We're gonna get some wires. We're gonna see if we can make this old girl charge. Now it's time to install this wonderfully fabricated, I mean, it's ugly as sin, but it works as good as Jesus. I mean, it's gonna work perfectly is what I'm saying. So we're going to I'm gonna get this bracket installed. I'm gonna get the alternator installed, get the belt on, and then we're gonna hook up the charging system, and we're gonna see if the battery is charging. So we're going to do that right now. Woo-hoo! All right, y'all. I don't know if y'all excited to be to this part of the video, but I know I'm excited to be to this part of the. Hey, do y'all know why vampires are always thought to have COVID? Because they always coughing. Cough. I don't know. Do y'all like that one? I know I like that one. You know what you call a shoe that's made out of a banana? Yep, you call it a slipper. That's exactly right. You know what kind of shoes ninjas wear? Sneakers. Sneakers. That was a good one. That was a good one, y'all. That was a good one. All right, y'all, let me show you what I've done so far. Y'all say don't yell, but I'm sorry, I just can't help it. Yep, there it is. The belt's on. Everything is there. Of course, I had to. Let me drop you down in here again and see if you can see it. Yep, I had to paint the old chrome thing there to make it work. I've got, I'm using some of the old wires for my wiring. I'm going to redo the wiring. I do not have my dummy light set up yet, but let's see if it's charging. Now, all I've got to do is crank it up. Up. Battery. What in the world? Why did it not crank? There's that and that. There, and there, there. Ah, come on, baby. Up. No ignition whatsoever. Hey, y'all, guess what? I'll be back in a minute. All right, y'all, one of the reasons I haven't really made any content last week is because it was raining. And because it's raining, I can't work outside. Well, sometimes even when it's dry out, it's still raining. Man, when it rains, it pours. So I don't know how in the world I did it. The battery was unhooked the whole time, but somehow I burnt the ignition up in this car. I don't know how in the world I did it, but the ignition switch is burnt up.
Could be a fuse. I think there's a fuse panel by the ignition switch up there. Maybe somehow it burnt that fuse out. I may try that in just a second. But let's see if we can make it work and see if the charging system works. Then we'll go on. All right, so I have my hot side of the battery. Run my jumper wire to the hot side of the coil. Of course, take my switch, remove the switch here, and this, of course, that side of the solenoid, and hit it. Ah, come on, baby. Give her a little gas. A little gas, a little gas. All right, she's got a little gas. Maybe she'll bark. Okay. All right, so the motor runs. So I haven't really messed up anything, but maybe the ignition switch. Give her a little gas. Okay, the charging system is down there. So the question is the charging system working? So I should be able to remove this side. This is just a way to quickly check and make sure your charging system is charging. Oh, Betsy, she's charging. It's charging, so now I gotta go get a ignition switch properly. We're gonna look into that in just a second. Well, the charging system's working. Battery's not hooked up, the motor is running slick as a whistle. Okay, it is charging. You heard the motor die down a little bit there. What in the heavens could have happened to my ignition switch? But that's gotta be what it is. Something here in the ignition. Headlight's not working. That tells me, of course, the switch itself is not working. So let's figure that out. All right, folks, I want you to listen to me. It's better to do as I say and not as I do. Don't cut your power wire that goes from here to the solenoid. You actually need that to actually run all the power to your car. I don't know why that is necessary, but I do think it's necessary. What I did is I actually robbed two of these wires. I robbed this yellow wire and the green wire. Look at your wiring diagram, folks, and don't don't do crazy things like I do. So what I did is, instead of having it to the switch, I actually robbed the wrong wire, and I robbed this wire for the power for the alternator. So now I've just got it jumped from there to the positive of the battery. You go down in here and you turn it on, and of course you got, I mean, it is cranking. It's cranking like it's supposed to. So still got to work on my generator light, but it's working. All right, everybody, we got the whole crew here. Got Nikki T, got Rev. Yep, here comes JC wanting to get in on the footage. Got his gob stoppers.
Gob stoppers.
Got his gob stoppers. But y'all, I'm trying to figure out how to get the dummy light to go off. We know it's charging. We got everything working exactly like we wanted to, except the and look at them wires. Y'all see that? Them wires, what happened to them, Nikki T?
Rev's ingenuity.
My ingenuity worked out really, really well. Y'all see that white spot on my finger? It burnt good. Lord, it lit me on fire. It was hot.
Ground to the hot wire.
So that wasn't good. So we got it good and hot. Got everything working except the dummy light. So I'm gonna figure it out. But hey, y'all, my fabrication worked perfectly well. The one-wire alternator works perfectly well. I can't get my dummy light to go off, but I'm gonna figure that out. But we thank y'all so very much for watching, and we know no way of closing out any of these videos and saying deuces. May God bless. Hey, we want to thank y'all again for watching this video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you can do so by clicking this button down below, or you can watch a video that may be suited for you or a recent upload here down below. So once again, we thank you for watching. Deuces. May God bless.